To undo some of the injustices done to them in his administration, the Nizam of Hyderabad had introduced the Mulki, or the domicile rule in Telangana. It was the same fear of denial in the combined state that the continuation of the Mulki rule was made one of the pre-merger in 1956. But this did not stop the influx of people from Andhra. Over the years, their numbers rose alarmingly, clogging all the employment opportunities in government and semi-government sectors. Frustrated by such continuous exclusion, the people of Telangana launched an agitation for a separate state in 1969. More than 400 youth died in this movement. A spate of new accords was signed, orders issued, and formulae devised to pacify the agitating masses. Government orders were issued in 1969 and again in 1985 to repatriate about 82,000 employees who had usurped the jobs of the Telanganites. But none of these were ever implemented. On the contrary, the violation of the Mulki norms continued by devious ways. Jobs were doled out to the outsiders by creating autonomous bodies and institutions just to bypass the rule. After a prolonged and seemingly endless legal battle, in 1973 the Supreme Court of India upheld the validity and continuation of Mulki rules in Telangana. But the Andhra elite reacted violently even to this order of the highest court of the land, and started the Jai Andhra agitation, demanding the withdrawal of all the constitutional protections given to Telangana. Almost as if they wouldn't continue in this setup if they were not allowed a free rein over the opportunities and resources of this region. Bowing once again to their pressures, all the safeguards, including the Supreme Court judgment, were nullified through a constitutional amendment. Telangana has been a victim of politics of domination and discrimination, where even the law of the land has failed to protect the rights and the interests of its people. The only hope for Telangana now is to break free of this unfair alliance and seek its destiny in its own land. It has indeed been a long and difficult journey for the Telangana movement, but it never ceased, because the denial of political, economic and social opportunities and the assault on Telangana's language, culture and identity never stopped. While some people continued to bear their loss and suffering silently, many others have been relentlessly fighting for the restoration of Telangana state. In 1997, the Bharatiya Janata Party at its Kakinada convention passed a resolution seeking separate statehood for Telangana. But there was nothing more to it than taking a political advantage out of this sentiment. Once in power, the BJP pushed this idea to the side to please its ally, the Telugu Desam. The left parties too never tire of demanding special packages for the development of Telangana. And the Congress, out of power in the year 2000, once again cried for Telangana when all of its legislators from this region appealed to Mrs. Sonia Gandhi to take up the cause of a separate Telangana. Bharatiya Janata Party at its Kakinada convention passed a resolution seeking separate statehood for Telangana. But there was nothing more to it than taking a political advantage out of this sentiment. Once in power, the BJP pushed this idea to the side to please its ally, the Telugu Desam. The left parties too never tire of demanding special packages for the development of Telangana. And the Congress, out of power in the year 2000, once again cried for Telangana when all of its legislators from this region appealed to Mrs. Sonia Gandhi to take up the cause of a separate Telangana. The Congress delegation also met the President to convince him of such a need. But beyond deriving some immediate political gain, no one really cared for the plight of the people. The colossal human misery in a region so richly endowed with resources is a travesty of justice. A surplus state at the time of the merger, Telangana today presents a dismal picture of poverty, unemployment and hunger. Agriculture is the worst hit. At least 400 farmers have committed suicide in the recent past, and thousands more have perished since the assault on water resources began years ago. The hostile agricultural policies of the government, denial of assured water, soaring costs of agricultural inputs, and the complete collapse of rural credit system have driven the Telangana farmers and artisans to despair, even to death. Already neck-deep in debt, there seemed no respite from the misery. The steep hike in power tariff brought in by the Telugu Desam government in the year 2000 was a severe blow. For out of 24 lakh power connections in the state, 17 lakh were in Telangana alone. When the farmers protested, they were mercilessly silenced by the state. Moved by the plight of the farmers and hurt by the inhuman response of the state, a son of the soil, Sri Chandrasekhar Rao, the then Deputy Speaker of the Andhra Pradesh Assembly, pleaded with the government to stop the excesses and withdraw the hike. But faced with an insensitive and indifferent government, he launched an agitation for a separate Telangana. For that is where he felt justice to the people of this region was possible. And soon the movement assumed enormous proportions, and the newly formed Telangana Rashtra Samiti gained huge ground across the region.
నాకు వచ్చినటువంటి శాసనసభ రాజీనామా తీసుకో నీ తెలుగుదేశం పార్టీకి ప్రాథమిక సభ్యత్వానికి రాజీనామా తీసుకో పదవులు కాదు అవసరమైతే నా ప్రాణం కూడా తారపడడానికి తెలంగాణకు సిద్ధంగా తెలియజేస్తాను.
ఎంతమందిని బ్రతికిస్తుండే ఈ ఊరు
వచ్చి ఓట్లు లేవు కదా, ఎలక్షన్ లేదు కదా, దీని మీదనే మనం పోరాటానికి బయలుదేరినాము. ఈ పోరాటంలో మనం అందరం ఒకటి కావాలి ఖచ్చితంగా.
కదలి రండి తెలంగాణ భూమి పుత్రులారా, కరలి రండి తెలంగాణ వీర వనితలారా, అమర
ఏమడుగుతున్నాం మేము? ఆ నదులు మాకు కావాలి, ఆ నీళ్లు మాకు కావాలి, ఆ నేల మాకు కావాలి, ఆ ఉద్యోగాలు మాకు కావాలంటున్నాం తప్ప ఈ ఆటలని గ్రామాలని నగరం ఇంకా ఎంతకాలం సహించడం, ఇంకా సహించేందుకు తెలంగాణ ప్రజ సిద్ధంగా లేదు. ఉత్తరించి ఉగ్ర రూపై నేను మీ అందరితో చేసేది ఒకటే మనవి. ఈ ఉద్యమాన్ని ప్రారంభించిన నాడు గట్టి దృఢమైన నిర్ణయంతో ఎట్టి పరిస్థితుల్లో తెలంగాణ సాధన జరిగితే తప్ప మనం ఈ హక్కును సాధించుకోలేము, మన ప్రజలను కాపాడుకోలేమనే ఉద్దేశంతో నేను ఈ ఉద్యమాన్ని అన్ని త్యాగాల సిద్ధపడి ప్రారంభించిన విషయం మీకు తెలుసు. నేను తెలంగాణ ప్రజల పక్షాన కాపాడ కుక్కగా ఉంటాను. మళ్ళీ ఎప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఏ తప్పు జరిగినా అనుకున్న తమ్ముడు రాకపోయినా మళ్ళీ ఈ జెండా మళ్ళీ గర్జన మొదలు పెట్టని చెప్పడం జరిగింది. ఆ రకంగా నేను మీ అందరి ముందు మరొకసారి ప్రమాణం చేస్తా ఉన్నాను. అవసరమైతే నా ప్రాణాలను బలిపెట్టైనా సరే తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రం సాధించడం ఖాయం ఖాయం ఖాయం.
The merger of Telangana with Andhra was not eternal. Prime Minister Nehru once likened it to a matrimonial alliance with an inbuilt scope for divorce. Even the state's reorganization committee had suggested an initial trial period and a separation if congenial coexistence was not possible.
At the time of the reorganization of states, the people of Telangana, on the advice of the then leaders, wanted to watch the developments for some time, whether United Andhra Pradesh would work to the advantage of all. It proved otherwise. The people of Telangana are not happy with what has happened in the first 2 decades after the formation of Andhra Pradesh. That led to the agitation in 1969. Again, on the advice of the leaders, people were reconciled to give another try to continue in the United State. Subsequent developments also proved that Andhra Pradesh would not work. The people therefore are now thoroughly convinced that separation is the only solution.
The demand of the people of this region for a separate state is not a new development. It was voiced much before the formation of Andhra Pradesh and continues to be raised even thereafter. The reluctance of the people to join Andhra Pradesh was fear of exploitation in the enlarged state, and the resistance of the people to continue in the present setup is the experience of being actually exploited. Therefore, the demand for a separate state persists. The people of this region very earnestly feel that their problems can be solved only in a separate state, that is, if they have political power to govern themselves and shape their destinies.
The people of Telangana were always for a separate state. In 1971 parliamentary elections, they favored those who fought the elections on the separate Telangana slogan. But their mandate was not honored. In 2004 elections to the State Assembly and the Parliament, they once again reaffirmed their longing for a separate identity by giving a massive mandate to the Telangana Rashtra Samiti and the Congress. The Congress had indeed promised statehood to Telangana if they came to power both in the state and at the centre. With a huge support at home and a clear approval even from the people of Andhra, who routed the champions of United Andhra Pradesh, the Telangana movement has become a force to reckon with. And with the unstinted support of several national parties and their leaders, Telangana issue has also gained a huge moral ground today.
Telangana issue is not a new issue.
Telangana issue has also gained a huge moral ground today.
Telangana issue is not a new issue. It was started about 50 years back. Personally, Commission has given the recommendation to have a separate Telangana. Why? The reason is regional imbalance, the cultural heritage, the historic background of Telangana, which was the main consideration for the Commission to give its recommendation to have a separate Telangana.
क्योंकि बहुत पहले ही ये तेलंगाना अलग था, इसको जबरदस्ती आंध्र के साथ मिलाया गया और अत्याचार हुआ आपके साथ, ये तो एकदम